Okay. So what is IAM? Anybody know what is IAM and why we are learning this topic? So Amazon has a number of services which we have already talked, that they provide computers, they provide storage, they provide networking. But what is IAM? Anybody knows? There's a full form. Yes. Identity access management. Hmm. Okay. Yes. So now w- understand why we are learning IAM, and the full form is access identity and access management. But what is mean by this? Now, before learning to any service, we have to understand the security part. Okay. So IAM is one of the major is giving the control, giving the authentication to access your AWS service. That means now in a company, how many AWS account you will create? Right now, let's say you have a team of 7 people, right? You have a small organization with a 7 people. How many AWS account you will create? You will create 7 accounts, or you will create single account? Agree. We have to create only single account. Your company will not create a number of account for different people. Okay, there will be only one single account, and you have to give permission for all the people who are accessing that account. Agree? If you want to give the permission, then you have to make sure that you have the full control, full access of that particular account. If you don't have the permission, or if you are not controlling that account, there can be the cases where the people will do harm on your account or will take advantage from your account. So basically we want to control a user management. So that is the identity and access management. Now what is identity? Identity means individual person. Okay, identity can be individual real person, that means human, as well as your computer, your machines are called identity. Okay, so what is IAM? AWS Identity and Access Management is a web service that helps you to securely control access to your AWS resources. What do you mean by AWS resources? Any service which you are going to learn is a resource. Okay, so you are going to create a machine, going to create a storage. Okay, going to create a database. All these are called resources. So you want to give permission that which or who can access a given resource. Identity can be a person or can be a machine. Okay, so many people get confused. What is mean by machine? What is mean by giving a control to a machine? We'll talk about that. So right now, just understand what is identity. An individual person, a individual service. So it can be human, it can be machine. So we have to understand both, and it gives the access to centralized control to your account. So you use IAM to control who is authenticated and who is authorized to use the resources. Now the understand these two words, authentication and authorization, right? So what is the major difference between authorization and authentication? So authentication, basically who can sign in, who can log into the account, is called authentication. And after login, who that particular identity can access what service. So example, now you are login into IRCTC website or Google website or your Facebook. You are logging as an admin or you are logging as a user or consumer or a customer. You, you are logging as a user, right? So you are allowed to log in, but you have a limited access. That is the authorization. You can do a set of configuration only or changes only, that too on your account. But there can be another account or which has a more privileged access, which can create, delete or terminate any user. Can you do that? No. So that is a understanding what is authorization and what is authentication. So authentication basically means sign in. You just log in into the system. And authorization means after login, what permission do you have? Just like in a given company, even in a given area, when you go in your society, you are the society member. So you are authenticated in the society and you are authorized to access the uh, society building, society common area. But you are not authorized to take any action in the society until and unless you are the society member. Society members are allowed to take actions. That's authorization, right? Essentially, I am allow you to manage users, their level of access to your AWS console. It is important to understand IAM and how it works for both exam and administering your company's AWS account in real world. Now, here one catch is there. So in general, you will have an special team. It will be your account team, it will be your IT team who will be going to manage or who will be expert in IAM. Okay, there will be a accounting team or IT team who will be expert in this IAM. But for exam purpose and for your real life, it is very important to learn IAM. So many people avoid to learn IAM because they think that they are not going to use this service or this service is very less used by them. But no, it is one of the important service, and that's why we are taking this service as a first point to learn in our AWS journey. Okay, now what are the features of IAM? Now quickly understand are what are the things IAM provide you, what features they give you. So IAM, using IAM, you can share access to your AWS account. So just like Google Drive, you can share the Google Drive to different people, right? You can share the Google Drive or folder to different people. So similarly, you can share your AWS account to multiple people. You can grant other people permission to administer and use resources in your AWS account without having to share your own password or access key. So it is always recommended that don't share your password, right? In many companies, in all the companies, it is asked that do not share your password. So if you want somebody to log into AWS account, so what you will do, you will create a user for them, you will create a IAM user for them. Granular permission. Now, yes. Hmm. Oh, my bad, I have started. Yeah. So you can give granular permission. What do you mean by granular permission? So different people require different permissions. Agree? So your owner of the company will have full access. A person who just has joined the company, will you give him a full access or admin access? Your manager will have different access, a team lead will have different access, people working in there will have different access. So you require different people, different access, right? Granular permissions. So different, you can grant different permission to different people for different resources, right? So that is a granularity of your permission, right? And you have to understand this, that each person require different access. Multi-factor authentication. You can add two-factor authentication to your account and individual user for extra security. Now, what is multi-factor authentication? Anybody know what is multi-factor authentication? Right. So now, yes. So now there is a term called who you are. Mm, what you know, what you have, and who you are. So I will write this thing. What you know, what you have, uh, and last one is who you are. Okay, so we'll talk on this. Let's have one more PPT. Okay, so how IAM works. Let's imagine a real example. I have created one PPT. How you can imagine IAM. So everybody in here has visited a college. To enter a college, what do you require? You are a student of the college, right? What is the thing that which allows you to enter a college? You require an ID card, right? So every person has an ID card. Every student has an ID card. The security card is having an ID card. Your professors, your dean, everybody has an ID card. So what is the information written in the ID card? Your name, your which year you are right now studying, right? You are the a student of particular college and the department in which you are working, right? So using this ID card, you can get access to the college premises. Using this ID card, you get or you grant the access to the college. Yes, but using this ID card, can you go in all the area of your college? Example, so if you are a student of this particular department, so are you allowed to go in this building? When if you have the ID card, you can access the general area, general public area, like football area, this campus, roads. But if you are a student of a particular department, are you allowed to access the other buildings? You are not allowed to enter the other building, right? Because there is a restriction access. You can only access the department in which you are enrolled in. Instead of you, there is a faculty. Instead of you, there is a faculty who is teaching in multiple department. So that person will have a different access, right? Faculty will have more level of access. So how it is defined? So your ID card basically has the information that this person has which level of permission. So this ID card allow you to enter the campus. That is the authentication. And authorization means in which area it is been configured. So who generally do that? Who create the ID card? There is a admin team in a college which will create the ID card, and admin team will allow the permission on which area you are going have the, or in which building you have the permission to enter. Agree? Is it clear with this example? How? So this is similar in IAM or in any company. So in Microsoft, you might have seen in your Windows when you are logging in your computer, you can create different users. There is an admin user. When you log in into your laptop, you have to enter a password, and using the password, and depending on the user, you are granted different folder, different applications. Right? Now, are we clear with this? Okay. Next is machine. Now I'm talking about a human basically, and we call them user. So this is a real person. Okay. Now in your campus, if you are entering, you might enter with your car, right? With your car, you might be entering. So is this particular machine is allowed to access the whole area, or they have specific designation places where the car is allowed in a campus? Car is allowed in only the area where P is written, parking. So you can enter this area and you can park here only, right? Because it's a four-wheeler. But when you enter, you might have seen in many cars, this type of tags are there. This type of tags are attached to the car, which allows or which give an identity that this particular machine or this particular car is authorized, sorry, authenticate to enter the campus, right? You don't have to show the ID card. With this tag, the security guard identifies that this car is belongs to campus faculty or the student, and we have to allow it. So you don't have to show your ID card. Agree? In some cases, there is automatic machines are placed which will read this car, this ID, and it will allow you to enter the campus, just like RFIDs right now, fast tags. Agree? So this is how. But just imagine, is this equivalent to your ID card? This tag. This is a different identity for your car. This is not similar to your ID card. Can you say that this is the ID card for the car? This is the ID card for car, but is the same thing for the user? The ID card which is used by the user is this same? Yes or no? So that's why in AWS as well, for machines, your machine might need to access the different services. One service might need to access the other service, just like your the machine which you are going to create will require to access the storage, right? So we have to create a different type of identity or a different type of mechanism for the machine, so we can differentiate that this is for particular machine and this is for user. Okay, so that's what is role comes in picture. For machine we have role, ROLE. For machine we have role, so we will talk about that. So you can see here one image RFID. Okay, now coming to the main PPT. So I am, you can share the credential, you have granular permission, now multi-factor authentication. So here, what you when you are logging into a system, what is the first thing it is ask you? The password that you know, right? The password which is known to you, you have to enter. But there are chances where your password can be hacked, right? So what is the second thing that is allowed, make it more secure? The OTP which you are receiving on your mobile. So there is some machine, some device which you will have on which the OTP will be sent or the OTP will be generated. So devices, some devices are this called RFIDs, RSA tokens. So you might have seen in your mobile nowadays there are some authenticators, Google authentication, authenticators, Microsoft authenticators are there where the tokens are generated. So if somebody hacks your password, still they will not be able to log in into your machine. Why? Because you have there are multi-factor authentication is enabled, which means that even if somebody hacks your password, you have to enter a second password. That is a multi-factor authentication. You have to enter multiple layers. So you can add two-factor authentication to your account and individual user for extra security. So that is the second part is what you have. It is a some device, some tool which will help you to enter a random number, just like your mobile or these tokens. These tokens are generally creating a temporary credentials for you. Okay, this is like OTP, 6-digit OTP. So these are creating. So you can see there is a timer. So this number, this is a random number which is linked to your account, and it will be generating after. So there will be a 1 minute timer. So after 1 minute, it will reset. A new token will be generated. Okay. So this is multi-factor authentication, and some companies even have finger ID. So who you are, how can you identify yourself? So some company use your fingerprints, right? So basically who you are. So to access your laptop, to access the company premises, you have to put a finger, you have to swipe a finger so that it allow you to enter the building or allow to enter the corporate area, right? So this is a how the authentication works. So are we clear what is multi-factor authentication? So if you want to enable the multi-factor authentication, you can go in the IAM console and do that. Next is identity federation. Now you might have seen in many website, if you're designing a website or if you have visited some website, you have seen that you don't have to create an account nowadays. You can access the account or you can access a website from your existing account like Google. You can log in with Google, you can log in with your Facebook account. You might have seen this feature. It is called identity federation. Even you might have seen if you're working in a given company that you have different services like company portal, AWS account, okay, customer portal. In all these cases, you don't have to enter your username and password again and again, or you don't have to create different account. Only single user, your company single user is good enough to access all your company's services. You don't have to create different user for different account, right? So for AWS user, you don't have to create your different. Your company will give you a given user. Let's say my name is Parag, so they will create a username as Parag, and same user and password will be used to access different portal of my company. So that is a identity federation. You can allow user who are already have a password somewhere else. Example in your corporate network, or you have a Facebook, Google account, and you can use that account in different services. That is called identity federation. So we can enable that feature, the single user in different services. You can give a temporary access to the user or devices and give a necessary services. So you might have seen in a company, in your campus, college campus, people visit from outside for temporary basis, like 1 day, 2 day. So are you going to create an ID card for them? Are you going to create a permanent ID card for them? They are visiting for 2 days. So for them, we are creating a temporary user with a limitation of 2 days, 3 days. That user ID will be active for 1 day, 2 day, right? Are we creating the permanent user for them, permanent ID card for them? No, we are creating a temporary ID card for the visitor, for guests. So even in your AWS account, there might be scenario where your accountant team has some auditing going on, and you have provided or taken third party or auditing, where third party will come and do some auditing in your account, right? This is a very common scenario. So in that case, you will can create a temporary access for the user, right? Or there you are working in a one team which has some n number of account, and for temporary purpose you are asked to migrate to other team to help them out. In that case, that person who is migrating to other team for, let's say, 15 days will require temporary access. You can create temporary access using IAM. It says centralized control of your AWS account, allow you to set up your own password rotation policy. So you might have seen many companies ask you to set your password after 45 days or 60 days. Are we clear with this? Anybody has any question till here? Any question till here? Okay. So before going to the terms used in IAM, or let's say it's user group role and policy, I will explain this in detail. Let's log in into the console today. Okay. Are you able to see the screen? Let's go some do some visualization how your AWS console looks like. So what is the website? So just enter console.aws.amazon.com. I will just put this URL in the chat box. Okay. So you can search online like AWS account, but remember this account is different from your AWS e-commerce website. Okay, don't use the same account. Right now there is some called root user and IAM user. We'll talk about that in detail. If you are the new to your AWS account, if you're new to the AWS and you don't have the account, just go and create the account. Okay, so you have to enter a email ID. Okay, abcd@gmail.com. Okay, give the name, verify the email ID, then it will allow you to go next. Then it will ask you to fill a form. Okay, so it is asking me, so this is my random email ID. So after this, what you have to do, you have to fill a form, complete the registration, and it will ask you for a payment. And what is mean by payment? It will ask you for your credit card or debit card. It is supported Visa or Mastercard. And have one credit card, enter that credit card. Don't worry, it will not take your money, it will deduct only 2 rupees, which will be uh, credited back to your account after 1 or 2 days. Okay, and your account will be created. For the first 1 year you will be in the free tier, so always create a student account, don't create a corporate account. It will have an option called student account or professional account. Create a student account. So in the student account you will be in the free tier. Now what do you mean by free tier? AWS free tier. So whenever you create an account in AWS, it give you 1 year free access. Okay, you can see Amazon free tier. So what do you mean by Amazon free tier? Basically, if you search Amazon free tier, it has some services free for 12 months. So these are the services, or this is the amount of number of hours free for you to use for a given year. So you have a storage of 5 GB. So 5 GB storage is free per month for a given year. Okay, the day you create an account, after that 12 months you can store up to 5 GB. Okay, number of CPU, number of machines you can create n number of machine, but the total number of hours for a machine is 750 hours per month. Okay, then connections, elastic storage, ECS container, Alexa, elastic cache, these are the other things which are free for you. But the most important things which you are going to use is the machine and the storage. Okay, so you create account, it, fill up the registration form, enter the credit card information, and it will deduct 1 or 2 rupees and it will credit back. Why it require credit card? Because if you go over the free limit, let's say Amazon has given you 5 GB free. If you are overutilizing it, you are uploading data more than 5 GB, it will not stop you. It will not say that your quota is over. Okay, okay. So if you are going over over your free tire, Amazon will charge you. So after 5 GB, Amazon will charge you. It's just like your mobile. Uh, if you remember before Geo, there are some free service over there. After you exhaust your free service, it will ask you for the money. Similarly, Amazon, if you are uploading or if storing more than 5 GB of your data, Amazon will charge you. So for that purposes, Amazon is making sure that they have your credentials so that they can charge you. Otherwise, you will just use their service. Well, they will find you. So that's why you have to register your credit card or debit card as well. Okay. Any question till here? So create your account. Create your account today. Create your student account, free tier account. If you are already created account previously, and if you are out of your free tier, create new account with the different email ID. Okay, if you are out of your free tier, then create a new one. If you still working on a free tier, no problem. So for a till we are working, so 1.5 months or 2 months, whatever time period, you, we will be working under free tier. Whatever the service which we are learning, we will be under free tier. But keep in mind, there might be the cases where we might have to go out of free tier, but it is very rare. I am going to explain you the things which is out of free tiers. Okay, I will going to explain you the charges of each and every service. But just have a prepare for that worst case scenario. You might have to pay max to max 100 200 rupees per month, or in 2 months 500 rupees max to max. Just imagine, in if you have done some you might have created some machine and you forget to shut down that. Okay, that's a max to max. Otherwise, if you are totally secure and working cautiously, you are not going to pay a single penny. Okay, so you have to create a root account. That will be, we are going, you are the owner, so you have to enter the password. Mostly I have saved the password. Okay, so this is the console. Okay, this is the console look like. So you can see the recently visited services. If you are the first time user, here the service will be blank. So these are the n number of service we are going to use. So these are all the services. Okay, now you can see, if you go here, there's a 9 dots. You can see so many services are there categorized by it. They are categorized together like storage. In storage, you have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 services. Analytical tools, there are so many analytical tools available. Okay, compute means machines. Machine means computer. So for computer there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 services. So Amazon has n number of services available with that. We have talked about they have more than 175 or nearly now 200 services are there. So if you click on all the services, you will see this number of services provided by Amazon. Robotics, customer enablement, AR, VR, front-end web services. Okay, there are so many mobile services, migration services. So according to your use cases, we are going to learn. So we are not going to cover all these services. Okay, we are which services we are going to cover? We are going to cover compute. We are going to cover storage. We are going to cover database. We are going to cover networking. Okay, and security. Yeah, in security we are going to cover few things. Okay, so these are the services we are going to learn. So you can see if covering only one, two, three, four services, there are sub services, so many sub services we are going to learn. Okay, it is impossible or near to that you are going to able to learn all the services because it has more than 200 services. It's not possible to master all the services. But what services we are going to learn? We are focusing on solutions architects certification and the services which are mentioned in that certification we are going to learn. Okay, now if you go in the right side top corner, it will show you the name of your user. So you are the admin right now, you are the root user, and your account number will be displayed. Okay, the very next here is the region. So we talk about region on Friday, right? Which region you are going to work. So this is the list of regions which are there. Okay, you can see there are so many regions are there. So right now I am in Mumbai region. We are going to work in Virginia or Mumbai region. Okay, we'll talk about this region right now in detail. Okay, here you can see some costing, how much amount I have to pay in my AWS account. If you scroll down, no, no. Now, if you click on your this button user, you can see the billing dashboard. Click on the billing dashboard. So it will show you the current month how much you are spending. Okay, what are the service you are using, and for each service what is the charges. You can see these services I might have used and there is no charges for that. Okay, so there are few services which for which I might be getting charged. So you can see currently forecasting is this much amount, and if you go to the billing in the left side, there is a tab called billing. So you can see how much charges I'm getting. So right now current I'm getting zero charge, but if for the month of April to 1st of April to 30th of April, if you go down here, you can just click on each services which you might have used, and they will show you the amount of you have to pay. So right now every service which here it's free. So you can see they have charged me for this particular service. There's a $0.5. Okay, now, right? So this is a I have to pay $0.5. This is a charge they have accumulated for this service. So if you want to understand that which service you are getting charged for, you can check here. Secondly, we are going to set up an alarm, billing alarm, so that by mistake if you leave any service running and it is a Friday and you're working or you're practicing and you forget to shut down some machine, you forget to terminate some virtual EC2 machine, or you might have uploaded some data, and on Monday you come back and you see the very huge bill. To avoid that, we are going to create some alarms which will send a notification to your mobile or your email ID. Okay, so this is your billing dashboard. Just go through this once so you can have some familiarity with the dashboard. Okay, so this is the home page. Again, I am in the home page. If you click here, You can search the service from here, services. So right now we are in security, we are learning security part. So I am in the is in security. So you can see here, or you can just directly type the service name. So IAM. Generally I do this. I just type the service name in the search bar, which service I want to use, and I click on it. Okay. Now here you can see this is your dashboard. This is a IAM dashboard. So it is giving some warnings. There are some warnings in my account. We'll talk about each and every service in detail. Today I'm not going to go in depth in the practical of IAM. So this is your dashboard. So if you see here, there is a user group, users and role. Right now everything will be blank in your dashboard. This is your dashboard. Okay. Now you can see here it's a global. Previously it was showing a region as Mumbai. Now it is showing global. Why it is showing global? Can anybody explain me? Why when I have logged into IAM, this service is showing me global. It is not asking me to select any server, particular region. Can you guess? Basically, IAM is a global service. That what does it mean by that? So it is not, but this service is not particular to a region. So if I want to give you more information, if you are working, if you are a student of a particular campus, let's say Symbiosis, you have a ID card. If you go to another branch of Symbiosis, do you have to create a new ID card, or the same ID card will be working? If you are an employee of a TCS company, so you have an ID card and you are in Pune campus. If you go to your Mumbai campus, do you have to create a new ID card? If you go to US TCS company, do you have to create a US ID card? So answer is no. So IAM is a global service. This is not a particular region. It's a global service. So the users which you are creating is for all the region. There is no region specific user. Keep in mind, when you create a user, users are created globally. So that means if you have created a user which is working in India, if he migrates to US, still he will be able to use it. Okay, and you can't restrict a user to access for a given region. Basically it is for all the regions. If a user is authenticated in your AWS account, they will able to access all the regions, but you can restrict the use case but not reach a particular region. So IAM is a global service. So if you create a user, it will be global user. Okay, you can't create a user for Mumbai region, you can't create a user for Sydney region, you can't create a user only working in Virginia. Okay, users are created globally. Okay, so I user role and policies which we are going to learn. Till here anybody has any question? Hmm. 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 I will explain the difference between IAM and root user tomorrow. You will be getting more in clarity with them, Manisha. Okay. So what is the difference between IAM user and root user? We'll talk about that. Even that is in our PPT. So wait for that. Okay. Now before going winding up, let's go with the what is terms used in IAM. So there are four terms. Just remember it is a user. What is my user? Actual people, the end user, the actual people. Group. What is my group? In IAM, this is a collection of users. So a collection of user under a one set of permission, just like you are right now in my batch. So you are Parag students, right? You are group of students in Parag class. Or if you are a student in your company, if you are a student in your campus, like in a particular department, right? So all these people who in a given department will have same level of access, right? All the people in a given group will have same level of access. That's a user group. Okay. Now other is next thing is role. Now role is different from user. How? We are not assigning any user to a particular machine. As I said, you can't use ID card for your car. You have to create a RFID. So that is a role. You create role and then assign them to AWS resources or the AWS machine like EC2. That is a role. Just for right now, just remember, roles are used for machine, users are used for actual people. Just remember this thing. Role are used for machines, users are created for actual people. Policy. Policy means it's a document which define the permission, one or more permission. So for right now, you are the citizen of India. You for you some policies are written. What is we call it? Where the policies are written for India. What the word which is used? Constitution. Constitution of India gives the rights to every citizen of India. What is written inside the constitution? Policies. What to do, what not to do. Agree? Similarly, there is a term called policy. There the what the user can do, what not can be done is written. Okay? Any question till here? So these things we'll cover tomorrow. I am in the universe, it doesn't apply to any region. I have shown you. Okay? And other things we'll cover tomorrow. Any question?